You've done all the hard work getting your house ready to put on the market. You've taken time to price it correctly. You've had several showings, a few offers, and you've chosen one of those offers to work with. And now you have a contract. Your buyer does his inspections, as is his right, and he brings you a great big long list of things that he wants you to fix. In this video, we're going to talk about the inspection process, how it affects you, and what you can do to protect yourself. Hi, my name is Joel Weihe. I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Kansas, and I also help people to learn how to sell their house themselves to save themselves thousands and thousands of dollars in their real estate commissions. So if you're a home seller, or if you are considering selling your house, or if someday in the future you may be selling a home, you should consider subscribing and pick up on our tips and strategies to help you sell your house faster and to make more money doing it. So most real estate contracts come with a clause about inspections. And what that means is that once you're in contract, that your buyer has a right to do any inspections that he wants to. And then if they find problems with the house, they can ask you to fix those problems. And you don't have to, but by the buyer asking you to do it, he can back out of the contract if you guys can't come to an agreement. Say, for instance, that a buyer puts an offer on your house and you guys get a contract, and the buyer does inspections and he finds out that your roof has hail damage. We get a lot of hail damage here in Kansas. Well, if you refuse to fix that, or say the insurance company won't cover it, then the buyer can back out of that contract because he doesn't want to be stuck buying a house that needs a new roof. And it can be anything. It can be a bad foundation. But what we're going to get to here is trying to keep the buyer from asking you for a bunch of little things that really don't matter or are insignificant, that can just end up costing you money. So basically what the inspection report is and the repair process is another negotiation between you and the buyer. He wants you to fix things that cost you money, and you don't want to do it because it costs you money. And what you guys want to do is try to come to a satisfactory agreement over that so that you can go through with the contract. Now there's several ways to protect yourself against these radical inspection requests that sometimes the buyers come up with. One way, and especially in a market like this, which is a really intense seller's market in August of the year 2020, is you can simply put your house on the market as is, where is. That's a little dangerous because it makes people really leery about buying a house that is, as is, like a foreclosure, because if they buy it and it does have a damaged roof, then they're stuck in a contract. Another thing to do is, and I do this quite a bit in this particular market, is to write seller will do no repairs, or seller is not able to do repairs, either way. But it leaves in a part of the contract that says that, if the buyer finds something really wrong with the house, then he can back out of the contract and get his earnest money back. So what you're doing there is you're preventing the buyer from asking you for a bunch of, little insignificant repairs, but he still has an open to get out of the contract in case they do find like a bad roof or a bad foundation or something seriously wrong with the house. We have a clause in our contract like that. Most states do. You'll just have to check your individual contract and see exactly what it says. Now there's another clause in our contract in the inspection part that says that the buyer made an offer on this house after looking it over and knowing of the defects of it, or defects that he reasonably should have been able to know. And that's an important clause for one reason. I use that a lot when my sellers, when I list a house and my seller gets a ridiculous repair request, I'll go through it, and if I see things on there like, if they point out that there was a bad piece of siding right by the front door, I'll say, hey, you guys saw, you reasonably should have been able to see that coming in. Or if there's a cracked tile they want fixed in the entryway, I'll say, you reasonably should have been able to see that was there. And I'll use that on our reply to the repair request. And usually it works. Another thing you can do, which sellers rarely do, is a pre-inspection. What that means is hiring an inspection company to inspect your house before you put it on the market. And that way any of these little problems come up. And a lot of the problems that come up on these inspection reports, here's an example of one right here, are really insignificant. This is a 28-page report. Now, on this particular inspection report, some of the things that come up, and these are pretty common, are like water is gathering around the foundation. They have negative slope on the yard, which is bad because then water's up against the foundation, which is bad for foundations. The gutters are full of leaves and debris. There's a GFI in the kitchen that's not working. There's an outlet in the backyard off the deck that's not working. There's cracked caulking in the kitchen and the bathroom around the tile. The threshold at the front door is loose. The toilet's loose. There's a loose hose bib on the back of the house. The door to the bedroom drags. Now, those are pretty common, things that come up on inspection reports. Some serious ones on this report where there was hail damage on the roof, which is bad. So we're getting that roof replaced. There was a window that was actually missing a pane. It was a double paned window and it was missing the outer pane, and it had been cleaned out real good, so you could hardly tell, but the inspector caught it. We didn't see it when we were looking at the house. And those are a couple things that we'll be asking to have fixed because they're serious. But just keep that in mind. When you do go through the inspection report, to protect yourself against a huge list of costly repairs that the buyer may ask for, think about doing some of these things like putting your house on the market that says that you won't do any repairs, doing a pre-inspection before you put your house on the market so that you can get all those things fixed beforehand or at least disclosed. And those are ways that you'll save money and that you won't have a lot of anxiety when those inspections come around. So again, if you enjoyed this tip and you're thinking about selling your house in the future, consider subscribing to our channel, because we'll be back with more tips and strategies to save you money when you're selling your house yourself.